reduce the number of persons that you're able to serve across the board. Is that the main thing that we're talking about?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
What we're having to do is look at ways whereby we can generate additional dollars,
mm-hmm.
and that is what the agency is
mm-hmm.
doing now. Where can we possibly make up that shortfall?
Mm-hmm.
We are certainly hoping that more persons will be more designations,
mm-hmm.
more United Way designations will be made to
mm-hmm.
the center.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at things that the center might do to generate more dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Can we raising more money?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, certainly based on the information I'm sharing with you now, that means that all the other agencies, it's really going to throw all the other agencies out there
mm-hmm.
competing for those dollars
mm-hmm.
within the same community.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, the next couple of years is going to be what I will say interesting,
mm-hmm.
for lack of a better term.
And you think that the United Way as an organization actually believes that this is helpful to the organization and to its social program?
Yes. United Way.
Designated giving is really helpful.
Yes, that is the information we're receiving from
mm-hmm.
United Way, that they feel like this is the way of approaching
mm-hmm.
meeting the social service needs
mm-hmm.
of this community.
Mm-hmm. And so it's, the haves will have and the have-nots will continue to have not in terms of what has already happened and what in terms of how giving generally is.
Unless agencies, small agencies
mm-hmm.
like 18th Avenue Center,
mm-hmm.
again, can come up with other ways of generating those dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have just not been that very good at doing that,
mm-hmm.
and certainly it's going to be quite a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have, again, some concerns about the future
mm-hmm.
of the organization
mm-hmm.
in view of what is happening related to funding at both at all levels.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the assumption is that perhaps there should be more volunteer help. And let's talk about, over the last 4 or 5 minutes that we have, let's talk about some of your efforts to increase volunteerism in your with your center, and perhaps some of the things about that perhaps your board of trustees or your board of directors might be involved in order to help you meet the current crisis that you're under.
As I mentioned, we are planning a campaign, a capital fundraising campaign, and we're having to go back and rethink that. We had originally talked about a capital fundraising campaign that would enable us to refurbish or expand our present facility, that would enable us to build some new classrooms so that we could provide more services to children. However, in view of what is happening with United Way and what's coming down the pike at the federal level, we're not so sure whether, in looking at raising dollars for capital fund or capital needs, to fund capital needs, if we're not going to have to go back and look at raising those dollars just to try and keep the doors open. So that certainly is an issue, but in spite of that, we do have a fundraising campaign in process, a $300,000 campaign over the next 3 years, so we are doing that. Board is looking at ways to increase its board, bringing on people certainly that can help us to increase our resources, the know-how to tap the resources for where those dollars are. So we're looking at all of that. So hopefully, with the board's assistance and with the help of staff, we'll come up with ways of facing some of those challenges that I've just mentioned.
You know, Ms. Wallace, let's, over the last 3 minutes that we have here, let's make this clear to our audience that the problems that you're describing in reference to 18th Avenue Family Enrichment Center are really not unlike the problems that are faced by your brother and sister executive directors throughout America, which is to say that the problems that you've described, you could go down to the next corner and find that there's a community center or a family enrichment center, or call it what you wish, that are experiencing really the same problems that you are experiencing.
Correct. That is correct. Because, again, this is just not an 18th Avenue Family Enrichment Center problem. It is a problem. It is a real concern. We're faced with issues that are having to be addressed by certainly all United Way organizations. And we have been meeting. We are looking at how we can do more in the way of collaborating services to help meet the challenge, so that we will not have to reduce services drastically.
And just turn people away.
And turn people away. And for some agencies, it could mean literally closing the doors. It is a very, very serious matter. As I mentioned to you, we're going to be faced with even additional cuts in the 96-97 fiscal year. This year, we're talking about I actually spent about $55,000. Next year, we're going to be talking about more dollars. How do you make up that kind of? How do you replace monies when you're looking at that kind of those amounts of dollars?
Very good. And I think, Ms. Wallace, over the last minute, let us simply say that that it was one of the purposes for this program, that is to give you an opportunity to talk about 18th Avenue Family Enrichment Center, but at the same time to share with our audience some of the problems that you see from your experiences as an executive director that you will have to face because of, first of all, the United Way cutback, and again because of what is going on in terms of the federal government, even though we don't have anything that's concrete at this particular time. And let me thank you for coming by and giving us that excellent information in reference to that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.